Right then, match day tomorrow. United have got Premier League opposition at the moment, and it's Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace. Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace, and I've seen him moaning in the press how difficult everything is for Crystal Palace because of they're missing a couple of players on pre-season tour. And initially, when I saw the headline, I was like, "Stop moaning, mate. No one's gonna have a perfect pre-season. It is what it is." However, I was wrong. I've had a look into it. They've only got 10 senior first team players on tour for him. That's a bit different, isn't it? So he's probably got justified claims to be a little bit upset. Now, he turned them around. Last season, imparted a style of play and an identity and great emphasis on both possession and clear principles of play when he's in attack, quite aggressive when they're pressing, defensively, not that two banks of four that we used to see when they was under Roy Hodgson, for example. A bit more ambitious, deploy a little bit more and a little bit more common counter-pressing system that we're kind of seeing everywhere a little bit. When they lose it, they tend to try and pick their movements, but that is where they're vulnerable. His formation, I think, has been integral to both the balance of the team and the way they've improved, I would say, over the last 12 months. Looks like a 4-1-4-1 in defence, 4-2-3-1 when they're in attack, try and stretch the pitch both ways. They've got a bit more of a ball-playing, possession-based style rather than a direct football. They can build up through the thirds, but they've also still got remnants of when they used to be able to put it into a channel, clip it down there, and have their wingers chase it, and they are a threat when they have got that ability to mix it up. That new possession style and their ability to trust themselves playing out has been 100% because of the introduction of Joachim Anderson and Mike Gay. Both now are ball-playing centre-halves. They've got a hell of a good first touch and a greater passing range than I would say any player that played under Roy Hodgson. Mike Gay, Wilf Zaha, Eze, Olise, Benteke, Will Hughes and Kouyaté, though, are among the individuals who have not been able to make the trip due to fitness and visa issues. And like I said, they've only got 10 senior players available on the tour. So the starting 11 could look like this. Gaita, Klein, Anderson, Ward, Mitchell, Raksakye, Milijovic, Phillips, Ayew, Mateta and Edouard. And the star man for me has got to be Mateta. 6'4", handful, rangy, tall, quick. Nightmare for Lindelof if he goes up against Lindelof. Major part of why Crystal Palace managed to turn themselves around last season, I thought. Probably the focal point for them. They look to send it up to him and then start playing off him, and they're pretty good at that. How'd you beat them? Well, I'll tell you what the 11 is first, and then I'll tell you how United have got to beat them. I'm going for what I think is not defensively the best fullbacks, which is a risk against Crystal Palace, who are the strongest in the wing areas. But I'll tell you why. I want United to start building play up properly and playing through the thirds, and you can do that against these. So I'm going with De Gea, I'm going with Malacia and Dalot as my fullbacks, Varane and Lindelof at centre-half, depending on the fitness of Varane. And I want to see Charlie Savage and Zidane split up, right? They're playing really well together. They enjoy playing well together. They've played together since under-8s. Let's split them up. Let's see if they can replicate those performances with other members of the midfield around them without the little safety blanket of the best mate playing alongside them. That's when we can start to see, are these guys truly going to be worth having a risk in the Premier League, or is it just pre-season and just a little bit lucky? So it's time to see what they're actually about. So Savage alongside Fred, with Bruno ahead of him, and then Sancho, Martial, Rashford. That's the team that I'm going to be going for. So how does this team beat Crystal Palace? Well, we get in behind. And that's why I want to play football. I want to have players that are going to get the ball on the floor, move it through the thirds, put it in for the likes of Sancho, Rashford, Martial to get on the back of. Because their line's going to press up high, they're going to be vulnerable in behind, and that's where we're going to hurt them. They do initiate a press, but their defensive recovery, once you bypass it and get them running back to goal, is not good. So you've got to turn them around, and you've got to move the ball through those thirds quickly. That's why I don't want to see Scott McTominay in there. Far too sideways. Don't want none of that. We don't want none of that ponderous passing. Charlie Savage getting there shows your range of passing, my friend. Squeeze them. We can have waves and waves of attack, and we've seen a little bit in the first half against Melbourne. We struggled to break a team down a little bit, so let's flip that on its head a little bit. Let's have a little bit more incision when we're passing. They're going to look to play out under Vieira. Squeeze them. This is our opportunity to test our press against Premier League opposition. A team that we know is going to want to play out. So let's get a high line and let's try and keep them in their half, turn the ball over and get some shots off. You're going to have to be strong in the fullback areas, and I've picked the probably two iffiest in terms of defensive capabilities, but I'm looking for them guys to be able to take this on and show us what they can do with the ball. They're electrifying in the wing areas. They are dangerous with their wingers, which means fullbacks are going to need midfield cover. Can we see this? Defenders getting isolated has been a major flaw of our season, and Palace are the last team that you want to leave your fullbacks isolated against because they love it. That's how I think the game's going to go. Another win for United, another positive performance collectively and individually. I'll be very happy with that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll be back for a review after the game. I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.